Hey guys, it's Andrew with AndroidCentral.com, and of course this is the HTC First we have here, and it is also running Facebook Home as it is out of the box. But we wanted to give you a look at what the HTC First is like when you turn off Facebook Home. It's actually quite easy to do, and just with a couple of taps you get to a relatively stock Jelly Bean experience, which is quite interesting. When you go into the home settings, the first option at the very top is to turn off Facebook Home. And when you turn it off, it'll send you back to the last app you were in our case the settings, and then you hit home and you'll notice that as the stock Jelly Bean launcher, set it as always, and then you're here right where you would expect to be on a Nexus device or some other devices that ship with the stock launcher, and everything is the exact same as it is otherwise. So even in the settings menu, everything's the same. The app drawer, it all works the same. Play Store, everything. So just with those couple of taps, you really have a brand new device, is the way that I like to put it, because Facebook Home never nags to come back on. It doesn't re-enable itself when you reboot. Once you turn it off, it is literally just like turning off any launcher. Now that doesn't mean that everything is perfectly stock. This isn't, I still wouldn't call this a Nexus device, obviously, for many different reasons. Most notably, you can tell that AT&T has definitely thrown a couple of things in here. You still have at least one or two AT&T pre-installed apps. The Facebook Home app is still installed, of course, visual, voicemail, stuff like that. And you also noticed up here at the top, you'll have the NFC icon that AT&T likes to throw in its devices whenever you have NFC turned on, which can be a little annoying. And then also in things like the Wi-Fi settings, you have auto connect to AT&T Wi-Fi hotspot, and there's some pre-installed firmware as far as the Wi-Fi goes to do the hotspot. And AT&T software update is still here, of course, things like that. But otherwise, as far as user experience, user interface goes, it is about 98% of the way there of what you would get from, say, putting a stock ROM on devices that is supported. And performance and usability is actually extremely smooth. Haven't found a single hiccup. We only have a Snapdragon 400 processor in here. It's not the 600 or the 800, but pair that with 1 gig of RAM and a 4.3 inch screen, and it's really nice and extremely smooth, and we don't have any issues with the way that it performs. So obviously you're not going to be getting updates like you do on a Nexus, but you are going to be getting a relatively stock experience on Android 4.1.2, and because there aren't very big jumps between 4.1 and 4.2, you're probably not going to be missing out on too much of that. And of course, if you ever want to go back to Facebook Home, you always have that as well. So you have the same camera with the camera shortcuts, Google Now, and of course Google Now works with a long press, and a double tap gets you to your multitasking. Now, of course, you still have capacitive keys, and you have a capacitive menu key, which doesn't always fit in with the design aesthetic of the recent versions of Android, but that's something that you have to choose on a person-by-person basis. So, thanks for taking a look at this, guys. We just wanted to give you a quick overview of what the HTC First is like when you turn off Facebook Home, and how easily that can be accomplished.